Stop. Before you watch another second, I need to tell you something that's going to sound absolutely insane. That woman who keeps telling you nothing's wrong, she's lying, but not in the way you think. In fact, what I'm about to reveal is so counterintuitive that when I tell you what nothing actually means, you're going to think I've lost my mind. Here's what I mean. There's a specific situation where a woman will say nothing, and it actually proves she's more obsessed with you than if she told you the truth. I know that sounds backwards. I know it sounds like I'm making this up, but stick with me because at the 4-minute mark, I'm going to show you the exact neurological reason why the woman who says nothing is actually screaming everything inside her head. And the science behind it will shock you. But here's where this gets dangerous. 99% of men do one thing when she says nothing that permanently destroys her attraction. I'll reveal what that deadly mistake is at the 7-minute mark. And I promise you, you've probably done it multiple times without even knowing you were killing her feelings for you with each response. But first, you need to understand something disturbing. Every time she says nothing, there's a hidden test happening that you don't even know you're taking. And here's the crazy part. The women who say nothing the most are the ones who are falling the hardest. That's not a typo. The more she shuts you out with that one word, the more emotionally trapped she actually is. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you 3 specific body language cues that appear within 5 seconds of her saying nothing that reveal whether she's genuinely done with you or whether she's so invested that she can't even speak truth out loud. And cue number 3. It's so subtle that even she doesn't realize she's doing it. But when you see it, you'll know with a 100% certainty that she can't let you go. You ask her what's wrong and she hits you with that one word, nothing. Cold, flat, emotionless. And in that moment, every guy makes the same fatal mistake. You believe her. You think she means it. You think she's shutting you out because she doesn't care anymore. But what if I told you something that sounds completely impossible? What if the woman saying nothing is actually more emotionally invested than the woman who tells you everything? I know that sounds backwards. I know you're probably thinking, there's no way that's true. But stay with me because in exactly 90 seconds, I'm going to reveal a psychological study that proves women who withhold their feelings are scientifically proven to be more attached, not less. And here's where it gets disturbing. There's one specific version of nothing that's different from all the others. When you hear this particular nothing, it doesn't mean she's upset about something you did. It means she's terrified of something she feels. And that feeling, it's so intense, so overwhelming that her brain literally won't let her say it out loud. I'm going to show you exactly how to identify that specific nothing in just a moment. But first, you need to understand why your brain is completely misreading what's happening when she goes silent. Because when a woman says nothing, she's not ending the conversation. She's starting a test. And 97% of men fail it immediately without even knowing the test exists. And here's something that's going to sound so crazy. You might not believe me at first, but I'm going to prove it to you with actual neuroscience. When she says nothing's wrong, her brain activity is actually showing more emotional intensity than when she's openly telling you her feelings. That's not an exaggeration. There are brain scans that prove this. Her anterior cingulate cortex is lighting up like a Christmas tree, processing 8 to 10 different emotions simultaneously while her mouth is saying one word, nothing. Why would her brain do that? Why would evolution design women to say the opposite of what they feel? The answer is going to blow your mind, and I'll reveal it at the 4-minute mark. But here's a hint. It has everything to do with survival and vulnerability. And understanding this one thing will change how you see every interaction with women forever. The 3 body language cues that reveal her truth. Number 3 will shock you. Remember, I told you there are 3 specific body language cues that appear within 5 seconds of her saying nothing that prove whether she's done with you or obsessed with you. These cues are so reliable that if you see all 3, you can be 100% certain she's emotionally locked in. Let me break them down. Cue number 1. She says nothing, but her body language screams everything. She says she's fine, but watch her body. Her arms cross, her jaw tightens. She won't make eye contact. Here's the key. If she didn't care, everything would be relaxed. She'd say nothing and mean it. But when she's invested, her body betrays her. Her words protect her ego, but her body reveals her truth. This is called incongruent communication, and it only happens when the emotional stakes are high. If you see this, she's not shutting you out. She's hoping you care enough to read between the lines. Cue number 2. She says nothing but doesn't leave. This is huge. She tells you nothing's wrong, but she doesn't walk away. She doesn't end the conversation. She hovers. She lingers. She stays in your orbit. Why? Because she's not testing if you believe her. She's testing if you'll give up on her. Women who are casually interested will say nothing and disappear. They're fine being alone, but a woman who's in deep, she needs to see what you do next. Every move you make is being recorded as evidence of who you really are. Cue number 3. She says nothing but keeps glancing at you when she thinks you're not looking. This is the one that most men never notice, and it's the most revealing of all. After she says nothing, watch her peripheral lally. She'll glance at you, then look away, then glance again. She's monitoring your reaction. Here's why this matters. If she truly didn't care, she'd check out mentally. She'd be done with the conversation. But she can't stop watching you because she's desperate to know. Does he care? Will he fight for me? Or will he just accept the lie I just told? This glancing behavior is subconscious. She doesn't even realize she's doing it, but it proves her brain is completely focused on you, even while her mouth is telling you to back off. If you see all 3 of these cues together, incongruent body language, hovering presence, and repeated glancing, you're not dealing with a woman who's losing interest. You're dealing with a woman who's so emotionally invested that she's terrified. And here's what you need to understand. How you respond in the next 60 seconds will determine whether she opens up or shuts down permanently. The 4 additional signs that come with nothing number 4 is the game changer. But we're not done yet, because beyond those 3 body language cues, there are 4 more signs that always accompany the nothing when she's overwhelmed by her feelings. And sign number 4, it's so specific, so undeniable that when you see it, you'll know she's not just interested, she's obsessed. I'm going to walk through all 4, but I'm warning you, if you spot sign number 4 and you mishandle it, you will lose her forever. So, pay attention. Sign 1, she gives you nothing, but her timeline tells the truth. She says, nothing's wrong right now. But then hours or days later, she brings it up in an argument. Remember when I was upset and you didn't even care? Wait, what? She told you nothing was wrong. Here's what happened. She was testing if you'd push past her walls. When you didn't, it confirmed a fear that maybe you don't care enough to fight for her truth. This isn't manipulation. This is pain. She gave you an opportunity to prove you see her, and from her perspective, you failed. The fact that she remembers it and brings it up later means it mattered deeply. And that only happens when she's invested. Sign 2. She says nothing about you, then overshares about everything else. She tells you nothing's wrong between you two. Then, 5 minutes later, she's venting about her coworker, her family, her boss. Random stuff that has nothing to do with your relationship. Most guys think, oh, she's just stressed about other things. Wrong. Here's what's really happening, and this is going to sound strange. She can't talk about what's actually bothering her, which is her feelings about you, because it's too vulnerable. So, she redirects to something safer. This is called emotional displacement, and it's a defense mechanism. The real issue is, I'm scared of how much I need you, but that's too terrifying to say. So instead, she complains about everything else. The emotions have to go somewhere. And if you notice this pattern, if nothing is always followed by venting about other topics, that's not randomness. That's overflow. She's so full of feelings about you that they're spilling out sideways. Sign 3. She says nothing, then acts completely normal with everyone else but you. You see her with her friends, with her coworkers, with her family. She's laughing. She's engaged. She's herself. But with you, ice cold. Nothing's wrong, she says, but clearly something is. Here's what this reveals, and it's going to sound contradictory. You matter more. With everyone else, she can be casual. She can be surface level, but with you, the stakes are too high. Her emotions are too intense. So, she shuts down as a defense mechanism. Most men see this and think she likes everyone else more than me. But it's the opposite. She's colder with you because you're the one who has the power to hurt her. Everyone else is safe. You're dangerous. And that's actually proof that you're the one she can't let go of. Sign 4. She says nothing but tells her friends the opposite of how she really feels. This is the big one. This is the sign that proves beyond any doubt that she's falling hard. And it's going to sound bizarre. When a woman is casually dating you, she tells her friends everything. She shows them your texts. She asks for advice. She's open about her interest. But when she's falling hard, she goes quiet. She downplays it. She tells them, "We're just friends." Or, "It's nothing serious." Why would she do that? It seems backwards, right? Here's why. The moment she admits to her friends that she's falling for you, it becomes real. Real means vulnerable. Real means she can get hurt. So she protects herself by pretending she doesn't care as much as she does. And here's how you know this is happening. Watch her friends around you. They act weird. They know something she hasn't told you. They're studying you, watching to see if you're good enough for her. If you've noticed this, if her friends seem to know more about how she feels than she's told you directly, congratulations. She's in love with you. She's just terrified to admit it. The one response that changes everything. The secret weapon. So now you know the signs. You know what nothing really means. But here's the million-dollar question. What do you actually do when she says it? Because this is where everything either comes together or falls apart. Remember that third response I mentioned earlier, the one that's different from accepting her nothing or pushing her to talk? Here it is. And this single response has more power than anything else you could possibly do. When she says nothing, you do this. You acknowledge without pushing. Look her in the eyes and say something like, I can tell something's on your mind. I'm not going anywhere. Whenever you're ready to talk, I'm here. That's it. Then you give her physical proximity without pressure. The real truth, love isn't always loud. Look, I know this is confusing. When you care about someone, you want them to be open. You want clear communication. You want them to just tell you what they're feeling. But here's the reality that no one talks about. Sometimes the deepest love comes wrapped in the most complicated silence. She's not saying nothing because she doesn't care. She's saying it because she cares so much that it terrifies her. And if you can see that, if you can respond with patience instead of frustration, you become the rarest kind of man. The kind who understands that real love isn't always easy to express. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's scared. Sometimes it hides behind a single word because the truth is too big, too overwhelming, too vulnerable to say out loud. But when you're patient enough, when you're present enough that nothing becomes the beginning of everything, the distance disappears, the walls crumble, and suddenly she's not the one pulling away. She's the one holding on tighter than you ever imagined. If this resonated with you, if you've seen these signs in someone you care about, drop a comment with the word understood so I know you're serious about decoding her truth. And hit that subscribe button because I'm breaking down more female psychology like this every single week. You deserve to understand what's really going on in her,